Our next talk is going to be about fall prevention for healthy living. And our presenter here is Nicole Barabas. Did I pronounce it right? Nicole. And she's the Director of Wellness at Frasier, a 400-resident life plan community in Boulder. She's worked in senior living for 20 years and in the field of health and fitness for 26 years. And just a reminder that Nicole, along with all our other presenters, does have a booth in our Expo area. So if our Q&A session runs a little long afterwards, if you have any more questions, you can always find Nicole in the Expo area at her booth. All right, Nicole, all yours.
Awesome, thank you. Can you all hear me okay? Okay, great. How's everyone doing today? Good. I'm really happy to be here with you. Today I'm going to be talking about fall stats of seniors. Seniors, anyone 65 and older in the United States. Then we'll be going over a lot of preventative steps to avoid falls in the future or avoid them completely. And then I brought a bunch of basic balance exercises, if you're comfortable doing with me, that I like to walk you through. And then I have a handout of those exercises to give to you so you can take those home with you. Okay, well first I have to ask, and you don't have to answer this question, but anyone in the room has had a fall in the last 12 months? Raise your hand. Okay. Yeah. So did you know that 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 in the United States experience at least one fall per year? That's kind of staggering. I didn't know if, I really believed 1 in 4 people. If you think about it, this population is one of the fastest growing in the United States. So I pulled up a map. This was from, and I have a lot of sources that I'll go over at the end with you. But according to the CDC, that's not a one-size-fits-all. It really depends on the state that you live in. So for instance, the worst states, the states that had 1 in 5 falls were Alaska, California, Montana, Texas, Alabama, Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, and Vermont. Colorado was 1 in 4, where they had about 25% of people falling over the age of 65. And then there were some really good states. I'm sorry, 1 in 3 people fell in the higher states that I just mentioned. 1 in 5 fared in the better states, which were Arizona, Nevada, Florida, Wisconsin, Illinois, Virginia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, Connecticut, and New Jersey. And one might ask, well, why? What contributes to this? So it's by how many people live in that population per square foot, and they just look at how many are reported. Did you know that a lot of people don't report their falls? So it's not really a good statistic of how many people actually fall. But 1 in 4 is generally the rule of thumb. That's still quite a concern. Does anyone have any idea which state has the most falls? Anyone want to take a guess? Alabama? Good guess. Nope. You'll never believe it. Massachusetts? Nope. It's Wisconsin. Ask me why, I don't know. I couldn't figure that out in my research, but it's Wisconsin, so very interesting. 36 million falls happen each year. That's 32,000 people that die as a result of the fall. That's staggering. Half of those deaths are caused by traumatic brain injuries. And did you know that every second, 1, 2, there are over 65 falls that are occurring in the United States right now? Every 11 seconds, an older person is receiving treatment in an ER because of a fall. It could be as small as minor cuts, bruises, or severe disability. Every 19 minutes, someone dies from a fall. So I'm so passionate about this topic because it is the most #1 preventable thing for adults 65 and older. What contributes to these? Again, it's so preventable. Reduced bone density. Sometimes as people age, they get a little lazier. They're not really, they're retired, they're not working out, they're not taking care of their bodies, so they start to lose bone density. We know that that happens even in your 40s, and that just continues. If you have pre-existing health conditions, low muscle tone, all of those kinds of things will contribute to falls. Most falls do not happen from heights. Did you know that? I always assumed that it happened from a roof or a step ladder. No, it happens from the ground. 67% of falls happen from the ground. It's crazy. And 95% of those falls end in a hip fracture. Now, we all know what happens with a hip fracture, right? Usually there's hip surgery, and hip replacements are a result. Has anyone in here had a hip replacement? If you have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Changes your life forever. People with central obesity, so generally in their tummy area, are 37%, they have a 37% higher risk of having a fall than people with low or no visceral fat. These are just staggering statistics, and I'm just getting started. Most falls occur. Do you think most falls occur during the daytime or in the evening? The daytime is correct. Yes. Only 20% of falls happen in the evening, and it's usually someone trying to navigate from their bed to the toilet. And it's usually because of poor lighting. Winter is the season that shows the most falls. And this was kind of an interesting thing that I was researching. It's because of induced mild hypothermia, which can cause a lower reaction time in people. Isn't that fascinating? Whether you're in Florida or Arizona even, this still can occur. And it occurs also because of ice and snow and different factors with the weather. So most falls occur, 60% of falls occur at home, 30% occur outside, and 10% occur in healthcare institutions, such as hospitals, rehab centers, things like that. Did you know that falls are not a normal part of aging? They're not. It's like people gaining weight as they age. That is not a normal part of aging. It's something that we've always been told, though, but it's not true. Insufficient physical activity during the pandemic has really shown an uptick in falls, even more so than what I just talked about. Did you know that it costs the United States healthcare system $50 billion a year? $50 billion a year. It's crazy. In 2014 alone, 78% of those expenses were covered by Medicare. Falls are the leading injury in seniors, and they're the most preventable accidental death in seniors. Just staggering. All right, preventative steps. What can you do? Is anyone doing anything right now? Do you think you're taking preventative steps for fall prevention? Good. Can I ask you, what are you doing?
I'm standing on one leg for 60 seconds and then on the other leg
Wonderful.
for 60 seconds, once or twice a day.
It's fabulous. Little things like that. And how long does that take you? 2 minutes a day? And have you seen results over time?
Oh yes, I'm hopefully no balance problems yet.
Absolutely. Anyone else taking preventative steps? Yes. Tai Chi, yes, absolutely. Tai Chi, any kind of balance exercise like Tai Chi or yoga, wonderful for helping your preventative balance and muscle memory. Certain movements. What has your experience been with your Tai Chi and your balance? It's wonderful. And in so many other ways. Yes? No? Okay. Hi. Oh, preventative steps. Talk to your doctor. If you're nervous about having a fall, next time you're at your doctor's office, just bring it up and say, I have a fear of falling. And they can help talk you through it. Less than half of older adults who fall actually talk to their doctors about it. Wow. Why not? I mean, our doctors are supposed to be there along our physical journey, right? Our health journey. So talk to them. Have your home checked. Has anyone ever had their homes checked or scanned? And what am I talking about? Loose carpets, cords, poor lighting on your stairs. There's so many things you can do. Clutter is huge. Yes.
In my case, check the footwear, because I was wearing sandals with caught onto the uneven sidewalk.
Yes.
Watch where you're putting your feet in unconstrained places.
Yes. Watch where you're putting your feet. She was wearing sandals, uneven surface areas.
Try to avoid the sandals.
Avoid the sandals if you can, or get some really good sandals that support your feet.
No, there's something where the toe will not catch on and hold on to something.
Something where your toe will not catch on to things. That's such an awesome tip for people. Thank you. Grab bars in your bathroom. Has anyone considered getting grab bars? They're a pretty simple thing you can install, both in your shower and around the toilet area. Handrails and lights installed on all staircases. Those are pretty simple things you can do. You can go to the local hardware store and pick up those kinds of things. Did you know that dehydration really plays a big role? A big, big role? Oh, someone else, sorry.
I had grab bars installed in the bathroom by Volunteers of America. They come out and
wonderful.
they do it for you. They're experienced and you can give them a donation, whatever you can afford.
Thank you. I'll repeat that. So Volunteers of America will come out and install handrails, hand bars, grab bars in your home at no cost. And you can certainly make a donation to their organization for their service. Thank you so much.
You have to pay for the unit,
You have to pay for the unit, but not the labor.
is paid by donation.
That's fabulous. Thank you so much for sharing that. Oh, if we can help one another through this process to avoid falls, just think about how much better your quality of life is going to be. Malnutrition plays a very large role. Quality of vitamins and nutrients or lack of in our diets, huge. So that's why I kind of get stuck with a socioeconomic, those states that I mentioned. There's something to that in certain areas. And I'd like to explore that more because that's quite an interesting topic. Inner ear infections. Inner ear infections. Did you know that stuffiness in your ears when you have a cold can contribute to having a fall? Who knew? And we all, of course, know vertigo plays a big role. Yes?
She said, we had gone. We had what, John? John? We had a pen? Oh, pets. Pets you like to lay behind
Yes.
your ankles?
Absolutely. Thank you for bringing that up. That's on my list. Pets, our little furry friends, cause huge incidences of falls. Does anyone have a pet that follows you around everywhere? I do, and it's a little one. And the little ones are the worst almost because you don't really know that they're there sometimes, and they snuggle up against you, and you might turn around. Guess what? Falls. Especially dangerous near stairwells. So be very careful with your pets. Thank you for bringing that up. That's fabulous. Low blood pressure. Anyone have low blood pressure? High blood pressure is huge in the United States, but low blood pressure contributes to falls. Medications. Some of your medications and antidepressants may increase your risk. Did you know that some antidepressants can lower your sodium levels, which can add to falls? Fascinating. Be sure to check all the side effects of your meds. There's a lot to read on those things. Talk to your pharmacist, talk to your doctor. And if you're taking multiple medications, find out, are they interacting with one another? That's huge. Movement disorders, impaired postural reflexes, slower reaction times, insomnia. Insomnia is one of the hugest things happening in the United States. People are not sleeping. Why? Lots of reasons why. That contributes to falls, brain fog. They're tired. Oh, who gets their eyes checked regularly? That is so important. Even as a younger person, I get my eyes checked and they're constantly changing, constantly, every single year. It's the same as we start to age. So our eyes, our vision, if our vision is off and we're wearing old glasses that may not, be working for our current vision, the same holds true for our hearing. Does anyone have an annual hearing test every year? Great. Your hearing can change. And hearing loss contributes a lot to falls. Osteoporosis, Parkinson's disease. I teach a Parkinson's class at Frasier. It's amazing. Some people, how they progress quicker than others. Some people, how it's a slower progression. But generally, people stop lifting their feet, don't they? They start dragging their feet along. Tripping. Let's see, what else? Your shoes, your clothing. Someone brought that up. Shoes and clothing. If your shoes don't fit properly or your clothing is baggy and you're walking around your house or outside and you rub up against a nail, and guess what? It pulls you, and before you know it, you're on the ground. You have a fall. So, good fitting clothing. Oh, I forgot that was on. Watch your pets, yeah. Regular strength training. Show of hands, anyone in here regularly strength train or exercise? Exercise regularly. Raise your hands. Yes, that's so important. Diet and nutrition, exercise, perfect marriage. Lower body exercises are extremely important, but so are upper body exercises. If you fall, do you have enough upper body strength to be able to get yourself up? Many people don't. So working on your upper body is just as important, as well as your core muscles, your tummy and your back. That's kind of the center of your body, which carries you around and keeps you upright. So a very important area of our body that needs to be balanced to keep us going. Anyone in here join a fall prevention program? They have those at hospitals, at senior centers, retirement communities. Anyone? Raise your hand. Those are fantastic programs to be in. You learn a lot of great tips.
I have an app from the state. It's called Nimble, N-Y-M-B-L, and it's an app that helps you develop.
Thank you. This woman in the back has an app on her phone called Nimble. It's through the state, and it really helps you with your balance. I love that. So check out Nimble. It's spelled N-Y-M-B-L-E. No E at the end. N-Y-M-B-L. Thank you.
The balance when you mentioned at BCH at the hospital, is that right? Is that ongoing? I missed the last one.
I don't know for sure, especially with the pandemic. I know a lot of those programs were online, so I'm not really sure, but definitely reach out. So she asked if BCH, Boulder Community Hospital, was having an ongoing balance prevention program, or was it short-term, and I can't answer that. But definitely check it out. And a lot of people like Apple Watches, so I just learned this, the Apple Watch Series 4 can detect swift movements, which can indicate to the wearer if you're having a fall. And if there's no movement within 1 minute, it will send a message to emergency services. That can save your life. The last thing is just kind of getting these things in your home, right, that can help you with the fall. Like, you've all seen the commercials, I've fallen and I can't get up. Those kinds of things are great, especially if you live at home. Okay, so where can you do balance training? You can do it at home. The pandemic has taught us online is great. A lot of people that never were comfortable being on the computer are now on the computer, Zooming with one another across the country, across the world. So definitely check out some balance programs online. You can take a live class again at any of the hospitals, senior centers, retirement communities. Sometimes the local gyms even have a senior program, senior center within, and they have a lot of really quality programs as well. You can hire a personal trainer. There's a lot of accountability when you do that. Someone that you meet with and you can focus on balance and strength. And if anyone has access to a swimming pool, especially a warm water therapy pool, it's one of the best places you can practice your balance exercises in a safe environment.
Do they have one in Boulder? Do they have a warm water pool? They had one years ago. I don't know if it's still.
I don't know. I work at Frasier Meadows, and we have 2 swimming pools now. So come check us out. Little plug for us. We have a lap pool now, which is at 86 degrees, and we have a warm water therapy pool, which is kept at 97 degrees. So it's really, really wonderful. It's currently not available to the public. Pre-pandemic, we did have a community membership for our wellness center. So it's something we're going to entertain again. Yeah, there's a question. Check with the East Boulder Rec Center for a warm therapy pool. Thank you. Okay, I can't believe how quickly the time has gone. Oh my goodness. So just quickly at Frasier, what we do, we have a thing called VST Balance. It's through a company called VirtueSense, and it uses artificial intelligence, and it's a way that we check the balance as a starting point with all of our residents. And depending on how the residents do when they go through the first round of testing with us, which only takes about 10 minutes, then we do either bi-monthly, so every 2 months, every 3 months, every 6 months, depending on if they have low mobility, medium mobility, or high mobility. So it's a really neat thing. So be watching, the news, and different companies are going to be coming out with more artificial intelligence to check your balance. I teach a balance class there, so we have balance classes. We have a whole group of therapists that work there, physical therapists, occupational therapists. And then again, wherever people kind of come in with all of their scores for their balance, then we can recommend specific exercises for them, whether it's a class, again, or just things they can do on their own. Because of the pandemic, we've taped a lot of our classes, so our balance class is on demand 24/7 to our residents. So it's really kind of a neat thing. And then we also have it showing at different times throughout each day. So some of my references, I had quite a few: the CDC, WHO, Aging, NIH, Palette Enterprise, the Hearing Center, Madison, Apple Insider, Nature, BMC, Harvard Health, and Wisconsin State Journal. Let's open it up to questions. And then if you're willing to, I'd like to take you through some exercises. Yes? How to get up from a fall? I would love to. Getting up from a fall. Okay, there's a lot of factors with getting up from a fall. You have to consider, have you had any knee replacements, any hip replacements? Where are you? So if you were to fall outside and there was nothing around you, what would you do? Yes, crawl. Do you remember the crab crawl when you were a kid? You get on all fours and just kind of crab crawl? Do you want me to demonstrate it? Okay. Okay, that's why I'm dressed like this today. Okay, right. So you're down and you're gonna crab crawl. So again, we talked about upper body strength. Okay, maybe, gosh, if this was a tree, then maybe I could kind of shift my body weight, grab onto the tree, and kind of walk my way up.
I thought you were thinking of hands down.
Oh, sure. So if I fell and I haven't had any knee issues or replacements, hope you can still hear me, then you can roll over onto your knees, okay, and get one foot out in front of you. Okay, your head weighs, 15 to 17 pounds? So you don't want to be too far forward or else you're going to fall right back down. So kind of keep your head upright, shoulders back. Again, you need some leg strength to get up from this. What are you going to do? Maybe use your own leg. Maybe just slowly come up. Does anyone want to try to get down and get up? The biggest fear people have is getting down. I would highly recommend you all practice from a couch, from a chair, from a bed. Practice getting down onto the floor. The joke is always, well, what can I do while I'm down there? Clean up a little bit around my space. Oh, wow, what's under my couch? That kind of thing. So you can make it fun. But the more comfortable you are getting down and getting up, it's really going to give you more confidence if you're having a fall. Do you know a lot of our exercises, we move forward. We hardly ever move backwards. So we practice moving backwards quite a bit. We practice moving side to side. I also have people pivoting. A lot of falls happen when you pivot. Someone calls your name or something catches your attention, and what do? You do this. You haven't practiced this, so chances are you're going to go down. Does anyone want to stand up and practice with me a little bit? I'm just going to give you a few exercises you can do. You can hold on to the back of your chair, and then I have handouts to give out to you that they're in quite detail that will walk you through it. Okay, so always think about good posture. Your head is up, your shoulders are back, your chest is out, shoulders are in line with your hips, and the tandem exercise. So we put our heel in front of our toe. You can just stand and do this. You can hold on to something, and then we move. We just move heel to toe. The slower you do this, the harder it is. The quicker you do it, the easier it is. And if that's too difficult for you, you can do a side pause. I always tell my residents, you can touch to the side and then bring that foot forward. Touch to the side, do it forward. And you don't even have to do it in a progressive movement. You could just do it standing in one spot. Side touch, heel to toe. Side touch, heel to toe. Careful. We do the same thing going backwards. So now our toe touches our heel. Yes, you can just stand in this position, or you can kind of move in this position. You can also do your side pause backwards. So you touch to the side, pull that foot back. Touch to the side, pull your foot back. Does that make sense? Very, very, very basic exercises you can do a couple minutes a day. Another one, as we get older, our hips get extremely tight. And when we have tight hips, what happens? It throws off our gait, which is the way we move. And that contributes to falls. So I have them lift their leg up to a 90-degree angle and then do their heel-to-toe exercises. Again, you can do a side touch out to the side with your toe, pull it up to a diagonal 90-degree angle and drop it down. Side touch, pull it up, drop it down. Okay, and we also do these backwards. So you lift that leg up, pull it straight back and down. I have printouts for all of you. I had 2 pages, but I just brought one because I didn't want to overload you. Good. Thank you. Another thing we can do together is sidestepping, like I talked about. So just little steps. You can take little baby steps, or you can take larger steps. Again, if you want to engage your hip flexors, which you need to be doing, you can lift that leg nice and slowly, as if you're stepping over your animal or a bunch of mail after getting back from a vacation. So think of an object, throw a pillow down on the floor, just step over and move sideways. Okay? The faster you go, the easier it is, right? You could put on some really fun music and do this at home. It's great. Or if you do it slowly, your body's going to remember the muscle memory. It's like any musicians in here or pianists, you do not lose that over time. Your fingers will remember how to play that instrument through your life. It's the same with how your body moves. So if you train your body to move, it's going to remember it. Okay, crossovers. A lot of things happen when people cross their feet. Their feet get in the way, right? And they fall. So what am I doing? I'm crossing and stepping, crossing and stepping. You can cross one foot over the front. Or if you want to make it a little bit more harder, whoa, nice catch. Oh, okay, we don't have a lot of space, so be careful. But he didn't fall. You can cross behind. Or do you all remember the Grapevine? Are there any dancers in here? That's on my list. Step, cross, step, together. Step, cross, step, together. Again, put on some fun music and practice. Step, cross, step, together. Perfect. Any questions about any of those?
Do you also teach how to fall?
Yes.
In case the unfortunate happens, sort of to minimize the impact or the damage when you hit?
Absolutely. He asked if I teach how to fall. Absolutely. Protect your face. Close your mouth. You don't want your teeth coming out. You don't want to hit your head. Try to protect your head. Don't try to stiffen up. That's the first thing people do. They stiffen up, and then guess what? You break your arm. You break your hip. You break your arm and your hip. Oh, no. I think we have to wrap up. Anyway, you have been an awesome audience. Are there any last questions for me? Handouts are here, and I also have my card. If you have any further questions, you can certainly email me or give me a call. Thank you so much for coming out today. Thank you.